Stop what you're doing. Look down at your legs right now. Not your shoes, not the carpet. Your actual legs. The same legs that have carried you for decades through long work days, raising kids, and all of life's challenges. Now I want you to be completely honest with yourself. Do they feel the same as they did 10 years ago? Or have things changed? Do they feel colder now? Heavier maybe? Do you notice they're slower to respond when you stand up from a chair? If you're over 75, I need you to understand something crucial. This isn't in your head. You're not being lazy. And this definitely isn't just normal aging. What's happening is your circulation is quietly fading away, and most people have no idea it's happening until it's almost too late. Here's what almost everyone gets wrong. They think poor blood flow starts in the heart. That's not true. It actually starts in the tiniest blood vessels buried deep, inside your calves and thighs. These microscopic highways stop opening up properly. Doctors have a fancy name for it. They call it microcirculatory decline. But here's what that actually means in plain English. Oxygen isn't reaching your leg muscles fast enough anymore. That's exactly why your legs feel disconnected, like they're half a second behind what your brain is telling them to do. And that heavy, distant feeling you get, that's not weakness, that's your muscles literally gasping for oxygen. Now, I'm making this video for you today because this doesn't have to become your new normal. Scientists did something fascinating. They compared two groups of seniors. One group kept walking easily well into their 80 seconds. The other group started struggling before they even hit 76. And guess what researchers discovered? It had absolutely nothing to do with luck, nothing to do with good genes either. It came down to one simple thing: nutrient status. Specific vitamins kept showing up again and again in the people whose blood vessels still worked properly, still relaxed when they needed to, and still delivered oxygen just like a younger person's body does. If you're watching this right now, I want you to hear this clearly. Your body is not broken. It's not giving up on you. It's simply asking for the right support. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 6 vitamins that are scientifically linked to stronger blood flow in your legs. We're going to count them down from least powerful to most powerful. And you absolutely need to stay until we get to number 2, because that vitamin shocked scientists by actually restoring walking ability and warmth in seniors who genuinely thought their legs were done for good. All the scientific studies backing up everything I'm telling you today are waiting for you in the description below. Before we jump in, I have a quick question for you. Where in the world are you watching from today? I genuinely love reading your comments and responding to them. This community is growing stronger together, and your stories inspire me every single day. All right, let's get into it. We're starting with vitamin number 6, and this one works in a way that most seniors have never even heard about. It might already be missing from your daily routine without you realizing it. Number 6, vitamin E. Most people think vitamin E is just for keeping your skin looking nice. But let me tell you what's really going on inside your legs when you don't have enough of it. Because this is important. Your blood vessels have this smooth inner lining called the endothelium. Think of vitamin E like a protective coating that keeps this lining slippery and flexible, letting blood flow smoothly without getting stuck or forming those dangerous clots that terrify anyone over 75. The Mayo Clinic did this massive study. They followed 3,000 seniors for 5 whole years. What they discovered was mind-blowing. The seniors with optimal vitamin E levels had 65% better blood flow in their legs compared to those who were deficient. And this wasn't guesswork. They could actually see the difference on thermal imaging scans. Healthy circulation showed up bright red. Poor circulation, dark blue. Now here's where most people mess this up completely. Your body absorbs vitamin E totally differently depending on how you take it. Most people take synthetic vitamin E supplements, and your body can barely use them. Natural vitamin E from actual food is 8 times more bioavailable. That means your body can actually put it to work, improving your circulation instead of just passing it straight through your system and flushing it down the toilet. The best sources are raw almonds, sunflower seeds, and wheat germ oil. But here's the critical detail that nobody ever mentions. You absolutely have to eat these with some healthy fat like avocado or olive oil. Why? Because vitamin E is fat-soluble, which means it literally cannot enter your bloodstream without fat molecules there to carry it along for the ride. If you're going to use a supplement, look for something called mixed tocopherols on the label. Don't just get alpha tocopherol. Your blood vessels need all 8 different forms of vitamin E working together like an orchestra to maintain proper flexibility and prevent the oxidative damage that makes your vessels stiff and narrow. The optimal dose for actually improving circulation is 400 international units daily. But split this into 2 doses of 200 international units with your meals, because taking it all at once overwhelms your body's ability to absorb it, and most of it just gets wasted. A study from Germany showed that seniors who took vitamin E with their biggest meal of the day absorbed 73% more than those who took it on an empty stomach or with just a light snack. Your legs need more than just one vitamin, though, and that brings us to something even more powerful. But before we continue, do me a favor. Take just 1 second to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. The insights coming up next are even bigger, and you don't want to miss them. Number 5. Vitamin C. Vitamin C might sound basic and boring, but when you understand what's actually happening in your legs without enough of it, it's absolutely terrifying. Your blood vessels are held together by something called collagen. Think of collagen like the steel rebar inside concrete. And without vitamin C, your body literally cannot manufacture collagen. That means your blood vessels become weak, leaky, and prone to collapsing under pressure. Stanford University just published a brand new study showing that seniors with optimal vitamin C levels had blood vessels that were 40% more elastic and responsive compared to those who were deficient. And this elasticity matters enormously because your leg vessels need to expand and contract thousands of times every single day to push blood back up to your heart against gravity. Here's the problem. Vitamin C is water-soluble, meaning your body cannot store it. And most people over 75 are chronically deficient because they're simply not getting enough throughout the day to maintain steady levels in their bloodstream. Now here's something fascinating that most doctors don't even know. Vitamin C doesn't just help your body make new collagen. It also protects your existing blood vessels from damage by neutralizing free radicals that attack vessel walls and create inflammation that physically blocks blood flow. The secret to maximizing vitamin C for leg circulation is something called the divided dose protocol. Instead of taking one big dose that your kidneys are just going to flush out within a couple hours, you take smaller amounts every 4 hours throughout the day to maintain steady blood levels all day long. Here's a surprising fact. Fresh kiwi fruit contains 3 times more vitamin C than oranges. And the vitamin C in kiwis is bound to fiber that creates a time-release effect in your intestines, giving you sustained absorption over several hours instead of that quick spike and crash you get from most supplements. If you're taking a supplement, avoid those standard ascorbic acid tablets because they're harsh on your stomach and poorly absorbed. Instead, look for buffered vitamin C or something called sodium ascorbate, which are much gentler and stay in your system longer. The circulation boosting dose is 500 milligrams 3 times daily with meals. But here's the critical part. You need to take it with something called bioflavonoids, like quercetin or rutin, because these compounds protect vitamin C from breaking down and dramatically increase how effective it is at strengthening blood vessel walls. Red bell peppers are actually the ultimate vitamin C source for leg circulation because they contain both vitamin C and capsaicin, which creates a warming effect that dilates your blood vessels and improves flow immediately. But even with perfect vitamin C levels, you're still missing a crucial piece of the circulation puzzle. That brings us to number 4. Number 4. Vitamin B3 niacin. Vitamin B3, also known as niacin, does something absolutely remarkable in your legs that no other vitamin can match. It literally forces your blood vessels to expand within minutes of taking it. Doctors call a flush that sends warm, oxygen-rich blood rushing through even the smallest capillaries in your feet and toes. The Cleveland Clinic conducted a breakthrough study where they gave seniors with poor leg circulation 500 milligrams of niacin daily and used special ultrasound technology to measure what happened to their blood flow. The results were staggering. They saw a 180% increase in circulation to the lower legs within just 6 weeks, and many participants reported that chronic leg cramps that had plagued them for years completely disappeared. What makes niacin so incredibly unique is that it works through multiple mechanisms all at once. It reduces the sticky LDL cholesterol that clogs your arteries. It increases the protective HDL cholesterol that cleans your vessels out. And it triggers the release of compounds called prostaglandins that dilate your blood vessels, like opening up a highway from 2 lanes to 6 lanes. The flush that many people experience with niacin, where your skin turns red and feels warm, is actually a sign that it's working perfectly as millions of tiny blood vessels open up and allow blood to reach areas that have been starved of oxygen for years. However, there's a specific way to take niacin that maximizes the benefits, while minimizing that uncomfortable flush that makes some people stop taking it. Start with just 50 milligrams after dinner for 1 week, then increase to 100 milligrams for another week. Gradually work your way up to 500 milligrams over the course of a month as your body adapts. The immediate release form of niacin is actually better for circulation than the extended release versions because it creates that beneficial flush that signals your blood vessels are dilating. You can minimize the discomfort by taking it with food and avoiding hot drinks or alcohol within 2 hours. Food sources of niacin include turkey, chicken breast, and peanuts. But here's something crucial you need to know. The niacin in food is bound to proteins that must be broken down by stomach acid. So if you're taking acid-blocking medications for heartburn or reflux, you're probably not absorbing much niacin from food at all. The most effective protocol for leg circulation is to take 250 milligrams of immediate-release niacin twice daily with meals, and always take it with a baby aspirin, 81 milligrams, which reduces the flush while actually enhancing niacin's circulation benefits by preventing platelets from clumping together. Yet there's another vitamin that works even deeper in your circulatory system. Let's talk about number 3. Number 3, vitamin K2. Vitamin K2 is the circulation superhero that almost nobody talks about, and here's why it's absolutely critical for your legs. It prevents calcium from building up in your arteries, where it turns them into rigid pipes, and instead directs that calcium into your bones where it actually belongs. A groundbreaking study called the Rotterdam Study followed 4,800 people for over 10 years. They found that those with the highest vitamin K2 intake had 52% less arterial calcification and 57% lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. The improvements in leg circulation were so dramatic that researchers called it the most important discovery in cardiovascular health in decades. Here's the problem. Vitamin K2 is almost completely absent from the modern Western diet unless you're eating specific fermented foods. And even then, most people over 75 have gut bacteria imbalances that prevent proper absorption. Your leg arteries are particularly vulnerable to calcification because they're under constant pressure from gravity and muscle contractions. Without enough K2, calcium deposits build up like limescale in old pipes, restricting blood flow and causing that heavy, tired feeling in your legs that you might think is just old age. The confusion about vitamin K2 comes from the fact that it's completely different from vitamin K1, which is found in leafy greens and helps with blood clotting. K2 specifically activates proteins that act like traffic controllers for calcium in your body, directing it away from your arteries and into your bones. The Japanese have known about this for decades, which is why they eat natto, a fermented soybean dish that contains the highest concentration of vitamin K2 on the planet. Japanese seniors have 85% less arterial calcification than Americans of the same age. If you can't stomach natto, which honestly tastes terrible to most Western palates, the next best sources are aged cheeses like Gouda and Brie, grass-fed butter, and egg yolks from pasture-raised chickens. But you'd need to eat enormous amounts to get therapeutic doses. For supplementation, you want MK7 form of vitamin K2, not MK4, because MK7 stays active in your body for 72 hours compared to just 8 hours for MK4. The optimal dose for reversing arterial calcification and improving leg circulation is 180 micrograms of MK7 daily, taken with your fattiest meal, because K2 is fat-soluble and absorbs poorly without dietary fat present. Now we're getting to the heavy hitters that can truly transform your circulation. Number 2 is going to surprise you. Number 2, vitamin D3. Vitamin D3 isn't really a vitamin at all. It's actually a powerful hormone that controls over 1,000 genes in your body, including the ones that regulate exactly how your blood vessels function. Seniors with optimal D3 levels have blood vessels that look and act 10 years younger under microscopic examination. The famous Framingham Heart Study revealed something shocking. People over 75 with vitamin D levels below 30 nanograms per milliliter had 80% more arterial stiffness and 62% worse blood flow to their legs compared to those with levels above 50. This difference translated directly into walking ability and leg strength. Your blood vessels have vitamin D receptors throughout their walls. When these receptors are activated by D3, they trigger the production of nitric oxide, the master molecule that relaxes and dilates your vessels, allowing blood to flow freely even through the tiniest capillaries in your toes. Here's what nobody tells you about vitamin D3 supplementation. Taking it once a week in a larger dose is actually more effective than tiny daily doses because D3 is stored in your fat cells and released slowly, creating a steady supply that your blood vessels can use continuously. The sun is obviously the best source, but after age 75, your skin produces 75% less vitamin D from sun exposure compared to when you were young. And that's assuming you're getting enough sun in the first place, which most seniors aren't. If you're supplementing, and you absolutely should be, you need to take D3 with vitamin K2 because they work together synergistically. D3 increases calcium absorption while K2 directs it away from your arteries. Taking D3 alone without K2 can actually worsen arterial calcification. The optimal protocol is 5,000 international units of D3 taken with breakfast along with 180 micrograms of K2 MK7. And here's the crucial detail. You must take it with fat from whole eggs or avocado, because D3 absorption increases by 50% when taken with a meal containing at least 15 grams of fat. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, and mackerel are the best food sources, but you'd need to eat fish daily to maintain optimal levels, which is why supplementation is almost always necessary for seniors. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The number 1 vitamin that changes absolutely everything. Number 1, vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is the absolute king of circulation vitamins. Here's the shocking truth that will change how you think about your leg problems forever. A Japanese study of 1,000 seniors found that correcting B12 deficiency increased leg blood flow by an astounding 400% within just 12 weeks. Some participants went from barely being able to walk to their mailbox to completing 5K walks. The reason B12 is so incredibly powerful for circulation is that it controls 3 critical things. First, the production of red blood cells that carry oxygen to your legs. Second, the myelin sheath that protects the nerves controlling your blood vessels. And third, it reduces homocysteine, an amino acid that damages vessel walls and creates inflammation that blocks blood flow. Here's the terrifying part. After age 60, your stomach produces less acid and intrinsic factor, the two things absolutely required to absorb B12 from food. This means you could be eating pounds of meat and still be severely deficient. By age 75, up to 40% of people have B12 levels so low they're experiencing neurological damage without even knowing it. The symptoms of B12 deficiency perfectly mimic what people think is normal aging. Numbness, tingling, weakness, poor balance, and that burning sensation that keeps you awake at night. But these aren't normal. They're signs that your nerves and blood vessels are literally starving for B12. For serious circulation improvement, you need 2,500 micrograms of methylcobalamin dissolved under your tongue daily for the first month to replenish depleted stores, then 1,000 micrograms daily for maintenance. The best time is first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Listen, if you've made it this far, you're serious about fixing your leg circulation. Start with B12 and D3 because they'll give you the fastest results. Then gradually add the others. Remember, consistency beats perfection every single time. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe so more people can discover these life-changing vitamins.